Okay, thank you for tuning in to creating your very first Excel macro. What we're going to do today is we're going to install a developer tab onto the ribbon. We're going to use the macro recorder to create a macro. We're going to edit the macro. We're going to run macro recorder using the shortcut key, and we're going to save using the VBA file type. So to install a developer tab, what you do is you right click anywhere on top of these icons. You choose customize quick access toolbar. Choose popular, choose the checkbox next to show developer tab on the ribbon, and click on OK. The next thing we're going to do is to create a macro using the macro recorder. So to do that, you choose the developer ribbon or the developer tab, you choose record macro, and here in the record macro window, the very first one is the macro name. If you're going to type more than one word, you should have a capital letter in front of each one of the words. We're going to say basic macro. Makes it easy to read because Excel does not allow you to put any spaces between the words. Shortcut key, use the letter E. And we're going to leave this section here alone. Store macro in this workbook is fine. Description is going to be my first macro. Click on OK. At this point, if you want to stop the macro recording process, you can click on this little square down here in the bottom left. The sample macro we're going to create is a very simple one. We're just going to type in here counting sheep mattress company. We're going to right click on that cell, choose B to bold it, make it a font Algerian, and then choose 26 point. At this point we're done with this macro. We're going to click on this square down at the bottom left. Stops the macro recorder, and now we're going to take a look at the macro itself so we can edit the macro. To do that, you click on this Visual Basic icon, open up the macro, I should say the Visual Basic for Applications interface, that's the technical way to say it. Open up the module, select the module 1, and here's our code. It has more than we need in here, so we're just going to trim it back a little bit. The first thing you want to do is you want to move this range on top, and we'll leave that one there. Take out this empty line. We want to bolden it. We want the font to be Algerian, and we'll change the size here to 26. And let's see here, we don't need these rows, we'll just take them right out, and we don't need this bottom section either. Okay. We're done doing the editing for the code. Now we're going to resize the window so we can see the code in action as we execute the code onto sheet number 2 of the file. So we select sheet 2, and we all tab back to our Microsoft Visual Basic window. Here's our code. We're going to step through it using the F8 key. So hit the F8 key once. It highlights the very first row of code. Hit it again, it's going to jump down to the very next row of code, and as you can see, once it hits this line here, it's going to type it on the left hand side. So you see how now it's typed the words. By hitting F8 throughout, we're going to have it finish doing what we wanted it to do, which is basically putting this over here. So we're done editing the code. I'm going to close this window out. And now the last thing we want to do is we want to try the code using the shortcut key. I've selected sheet 3. Now I'm going to hit Control E, and it pops up what we created. It did the code for us when we hit the Control E key. That pretty much does it for the code creation and editing and testing. And now what we want to do is we want to save the file using a VBA file type, because if you don't do that, you're going to lose your code. So let's do that now. Hit Save As and give it a name. I'm going to put it into my desktop. Give it a name. First macro today. And the Save As type, you want to change that to Excel Macro Enabled Workbook. So Excel Macro Enabled Workbook is going to keep the code inside the file. You don't lose it. Hit save. And that's it. You're done. Have a great day.